It was just after midnight on October 27, 1962. The world stood on the knife's edge of annihilation. American warships had surrounded Cuba, blockading Soviet vessels loaded with nuclear missiles. In the waters of the Caribbean, beneath the black surface, one Soviet submarine, B-59, was trapped, its crew suffocating in sweltering heat, low on oxygen, and cut off from Moscow. Above them, U.S. destroyers dropped practice depth charges, designed not to sink the vessel, but to force it to surface. The Soviets, however, didn't know they were harmless. In that metal coffin, rattling with each explosion, every man believed war had already begun. And the captain, Valentin Savitsky, was ready to strike back. Inside, the temperature had soared past 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Men stripped to their waists, sweat dripping, faint from lack of air. They had been submerged for days. Batteries dying, communications lost. Savitsky, exhausted and enraged, gave the order, arm the torpedo. This wasn't an ordinary torpedo. It was tipped with a nuclear warhead, capable of vaporizing the U.S. fleet above. Launching it would mean a guaranteed global response, a chain reaction of missiles between the superpowers. At that moment, with his trembling hand and a single command, the captain of one submarine held the fate of millions. But here's the twist. To fire, 3 officers had to agree. 2 voices already leaned toward yes, the captain, the political officer. Only one man remained, the second in command, Vasili Arkhipov. He had seen war before. Years earlier, he had survived another nuclear accident that nearly killed him. He knew the cost of rash orders. As the tension in the cramped control room built to breaking point, Arkhipov refused. He argued. He resisted. Against his furious captain, against the crushing silence of Moscow, against the pounding depth charges above, he demanded restraint. Minutes stretched into eternity. The crew waited for the verdict, sweat running down their faces, hands shaking on their controls. And then Arkhipov's voice, steady but defiant, broke the silence. We will not launch. The torpedo was disarmed. The submarine surfaced, and the world continued to exist. No parades were thrown for Vasili Arkhipov. No medals, no headlines. He returned home a quiet man in a quiet country, his name unknown outside Soviet walls. Yet, in that claustrophobic submarine, in those final minutes before nuclear fire, one decision, one refusal, prevented World War III. Historians would later calculate that his choice saved not just his crew, not just his nation, but potentially hundreds of millions of lives across the globe. Think about it. A single officer, buried in the chaos of the Cold War, without orders from his leaders, without applause from his people, altered the trajectory of history with just one word: no. In that moment, he reminded us that the greatest power a human can hold is not always in the weapon they wield, but in the decision to withhold it. If you found this story as powerful as we did, consider subscribing. We'll keep uncovering more hidden moments that shape the world in ways few people know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.